You put up the cost?
With the salary?
Yeah.
Oh, at a budgeted amount,
At a budget
not
amount
to
of
exceed 85,000,
Yep.
not to exceed.
85,000, with the role reporting directly to the executive director.
Interesting to put the budget amount in that one. I don't recall that when we, moved, well, you have to create the position, I guess.
Yeah, the position was already created at the time. Right.
Okay, any
Okay.
further discussion on that? All in favor?
We'll need a second.
Oh, I second.
Oh, you did?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other business for urban renewal? Anyone?
Move adjournment.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're not gonna miss anything.
I know, I
LDC,
apologize,
so-
guys. Thank you. Thank you for adjusting the.
No problem. I'm glad we did that because I
Schedule.
thought we
Yeah.
would get
Perfect
through.
timing, actually.
If we volunteered you for a committee.
Yeah, right, let me know.
Everybody knows my
Let me know
place.
what you volunteer me for.
Read these financials.
See somebody.
Absolutely.
Give Ted
One
back
more
his
of
glasses.
I know.
All right. You all set, John? Okay, I will call the May 19th, 2025 meeting of the Fairport Local Development Corporation to order and ask for public comment. Hearing none, I'll close public comment and move to approval of the April 21st, 2025 LDC meeting.
I'll move approval of the minutes. I'll second.
Comments or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Move on to resolution 2025-05, authorizing payment of the LDC bills.
I reviewed, there were no journal entries for the month, but I reviewed the bills and I would move to approve it.
I will second.
Any questions on any of those or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Looking at LDC cash balances and financials. Anyone have anything there? Okay. Loan status report. Loan portfolio seems to be current. All right. Facade grant program. That's going to be a topic for tomorrow night.
It will be, yes. So
John's got some thoughts.
just the one thing I want to talk about, we have a local merchant, Anthony at Lombardi's. They're interested in the facade grant. The grant period is closed at this time. So we have to reopen it to allow for.
When, if we're going to change that program, are we, I guess, thinking about that? I know planning meeting, we're going to talk about it, is the expectation that we're going to dramatically change the program, close the program, end it?
My recommendation, and certainly open for tomorrow's discussion, is that we should keep the facade sign and facade grant for the purpose that it's for. But that's a grant really for a property owner. And sometimes the property owner is the business owner, but we should create something different. And I have a proposal on that. That's for a small business.
Yes.
That's a tenant in the building to do, to grow, maybe start their business. We can talk through some of the deals, but separate those two things, because some of the small business owners who are merchants, they are not the ones who are going to pay for their facade or their windows or their new door. So I think there's a need for it, but I think we should carve out something specifically different for the small business grant.
And in light of the streetscape project going on too, I've kind of gone through my head, is that, will people take advantage of doing something while it's torn up anyway? Or I'm not taking that on because I'm taking a hit, you know, I think there might be a little of both. But anyway, in light of
Depends
that,
on how stable the business is.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
In light of that, it might change the focus of the program a little bit. Still keep the program, but now let's encourage people to whatever, you know, part of the discussion tomorrow night, just the focus. Add, you know, small business and, you know, tenants, but, so let me ask a question. How are we closed? What does that mean?
The application period, as I understood, ended in October of last year. Before I came on
Does that sound
board,
right?
you
I
have
don't
not been
remember
taking
We did
new.
close that because we were over budget for it, and we knew that, but there were a lot of things that were taking longer because of supply chain and all that sort of stuff, so that's why there's still these things hanging out there.
And it's questionable whether some of the ones that are shown in our will be done.
Yep.
I think there was a discussion about like, doesn't seem people are coming forward, the effort to try to administer this and promote it with the people who are left to take advantage of it isn't worth it. So we decided to put an end date to new applications.
Okay.
But I like the idea of, well, but I like the idea of just keeping it on our books as something we do.
Is whatever we decide, I mean, whatever we decide tomorrow to move forward with, and you get your paperwork together and whatever the requirement is that anything going to stop Lombardi's from moving forward with a very similar, is it going to be drastic?
Yeah, and I personally talked to him, and he is in kind of a time constraint, needing to get it done. As part of it is windows that are cracking, and he's very worried about losing. And he says, I need to start. I said, don't start and jeopardize your account. So I don't know if we take action tomorrow night on a particular, are we allowed to take action tomorrow?
It's not a publicly,
No, we're not an advertised meeting.
right.
Do we ever do a special session
Mm-hmm.
if we wanted to do that? If we
You
needed
could
to
also, I
do
mean,
I'm around.
I'm around.
About time, right?
Well, I guess the
He,
question
we
is,
still,
if
he still would need to get, we haven't seen quotes or an application, so he has some legwork to do on his end.
well, if we open the program back up and right now, and decide to change it on Monday or Tuesday, that's fine too. I mean, whatever we change is probably not going to affect
Well,
Lombardi.
did we budget for this program in this current year's budget?
In 2020, too many 20s. Yes, there are still dollars budgeted in this current budget for this program, but they may be committed. I have to take a closer look at what has been budgeted versus what has been spent.
Well, okay. So why don't we stick to the original plan, talk about it tomorrow night, define our program, and if we come to some kind of resolution that, yeah, let's go ahead with this, do it relatively quickly, get it on the
It takes
books.
three of us to get together to make a decision if we
Yeah.
have to.
That's right.
Does that sound good?
And it sounds like he's already taking steps that would be
He
prerequisites.
said he's been getting his quotes. He
That's
gets
great.
his quotes together, which
Which
is
you need to
usually the thing that is timely. He says, I'm
So he'll
ready
be
to
able to
go.
be nimble. That's good.
do is if a week is, we could have this finalized in a week or so.
Does that sound reasonable?
Mhm.
All right, so that was the facade. Old business, new business. Anyone? Okay,
I'm looking forward to the conversation tomorrow.
so
I included in your extra materials a preview of the agenda for tomorrow. If there's something that you want to add, let me know. We can throw it on there. Something that's missing.
Leslie has asked for iron smoke update.
Okay.
If you do.
That would probably have to be
Yeah.
after. The Main Street investment opportunities, I am concerned about the church. I know that's a mess, but
Well, yeah,
we need to be monitoring it, I guess, ultimately.
apparently the planning board meeting that the church went to did not go well.
Are we live? And 52 North Main, is that up, that's up by Tony's?
Yeah.
52 North Main is Railroad Street,
Well, there's some, yeah, there's, yeah.
and the storage behind it. It's got the
Okay.
strings store in it right now. That's changing hands.
Are we keeping our eye on further up North Main?
I think she has a list of
Is that under the others?
I have a
a
list of.
supplemental list.
I have a list for tomorrow of DRI potential projects.
DRI.
Downtown Revitalization Initiative, which is one of our topics for tomorrow. The Downtown Revitalization Initiative grant is actually something that the municipality, so here the village, would apply for. There is one DRI grant per region. We're in the Finger Lakes region, and there are 2 New York Forward awards each year. A DRI award is $10 million for your community, and a New York Forward award is $4.5 million. So we have been having conversations and partnering with the village, and how do we become a candidate for one of those awards. And one of our topics tomorrow is our approach. What is our focus? How do we make sure that what we're submitting is in alignment with the village comprehensive plan, our OCED strategic plan, and best positions our application for those funds for our community.
That would not be a singular project.
That's right.
Are there examples where we could see what other winners have
Drive
proposed
Opinion,
/ done?
New York,
We got
that
a DRI?
has totally led, I'm down there all the time, it's the new Fairport, as they like to call it. What they have done, they leveraged that $10 million 5 years ago, maybe they get that one. And what they have done with new businesses open up, a real focus on women-owned businesses, and I don't know whether that was intentional or just the way it played out, but are successful businesses maintaining their success, and then everybody else, where it comes in that isn't even recipients of the grants. It has revitalized New York incredibly.
So a bunch of smaller projects?
Yeah.
Would
Okay.
anyone
It could be a
Some
collection.
infrastructure, there'll
Yeah.
be some infrastructure, parking garage.
Maybe, if we think that's a great use for $5 million or $10 million, I'm not sure.
So I'm trying to get a sense for where they've said,
Yeah, so,
that
Building redevelopment or repurposing
okay,
of areas, and Penn Yan needed it.
Yeah, so they
had
probably did a lot of,
buildings that were
adaptive
on the way out.
reuse.
Adaptive reuse, yep.
Yeah, so the things that resonate, I think, in a DRI application is a collection of projects that include infrastructure. Maybe it's parking garage, maybe something to alleviate your parking problems. A focus on housing, and are you contemplating mixed use or how are you going to increase housing in your community? Both public and private investment. They want to see private investors coming to the table with their own projects that they can support, and the municipality saying, hey, we want to put in sidewalks over here, but also this developer wants to build 2 more stories on top of their 2-story building to add more housing. And then let's say the Baptist Church was a candidate for this, something that takes an underused asset and repurposes it. So that combination of adaptive reuse, focus on mixed use, creating walkable communities, and all of the things that make a vital downtown is what they like to see. So if it had been our streetscape project for $5 million and submitted that for New York Forward, that's not, that's one project, not really that exciting. It's not transformative. It's the collection of all those things that come together. And I think we have a really compelling narrative here in Fairport because we have an opportunity to continue momentum of all those things have already been happening. We've already demonstrated here that we can take an old canning factory and turn it into the hottest entertainment spot in Monroe County, and highlighted the canal as our second Main Street. This is an opportunity for New York State economic development to invest in something that's going really well and see what it means to take it to the next level. And so we have to work on crafting our narrative, putting together that collection of projects, and ultimately submitting the application, which comes from the village, not from OCED. But the village is a very willing and excited partner to collaborate here.
Yeah, they have a couple of pet projects that they are thinking about.
Awesome. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's like I said, I've seen how it works. And there's probably other ones that aren't much of a success story, but that one certainly is down there.
So this year's DRI in this region went to Canandaigua.
Okay.
Their focus is on connecting their downtown to the lakefront. That's their story, and we've all been there to know, like, oh, I'm here, and
Where's the water?
where's the water?
I'm on
Or I'm on the
Ridge
lake,
Road
and I'm
right
going to
now.
go to
Oh,
the
right,
shops
5 and 20.
downtown. Yeah. So you can't see the work, but you can see the applications out there. And I'll send a link to the DRI website that shares the past communities and the awards, and you can see their applications. But other communities, Geneseo, have you visited downtown Geneseo? They got a New York Forward Award a few years ago. Perry, New York, got a New York Forward Award. Binghamton was awarded a DRI award also this year. The city of Rochester received a DRI award a few rounds ago for the work at Main and South Clinton, those blighted buildings there. So it's an exciting opportunity. It's a competitive award. We might not get it this year, but we are going to get one this year, next year, hopefully not longer than that. But so it's a great thing we can talk more about, and I'll share some pre-information before tomorrow.
It's exciting. Cool. Anything else on your list for tomorrow, or anything heads up? We all have the list.
Budget, if there's other budget stuff other than, so it might seem odd to have it under budget, but we do have some big buckets of dollars kind of on reserve for land for development or acquire a property. Donna suggested that was something we could talk about more specifically. And then also from a community support perspective, we have our set things that we are always thinking about from support of the Music Fest and the partnership, but are there other things that we want to get on our radar? Because we're to start our budget planning season here, beginning in June.
I want to continue supporting the art co-op over there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're gonna have a full plate tomorrow night, so I'm gonna be the ringmaster. Trying to keep the elephants going around. So we're not getting bogged down and spending too much time on any one thing, but make sure everybody can weigh in. But I want it to be kind of move. You know how we get.
Why, is there a Calcutta at 7 or something?
No, I'm there for the duration, but there's food and drinks coming at some point.
There you go.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got that as a.
I don't want
think that
people
we think
getting
better with the drink,
angry
though.
in our meetings like they do, so. No, I just want to keep it moving. So.
Okay.
I left you a message about the
We adjourn.
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I left you a message about the tenant support. I think you've got it covered in the small
Okay.
business grant. I think that it's directionally similar.
Okay, great, good. You had mentioned it in
Yeah.
a prior
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, so you've got that on there already.